Well, residents in Roshnee and Rustervaal in the south of Gauteng are protesting over prolonged outages in their area. And they said nothing has been done to put an end to prolonged hours of power cuts. And this has been their daily reality for weeks now, with their complaints being ignored. Our reporter Manqoba Mchunu is in the Vaal area, joining me now to give us this update. And Manqoba, a very warm good morning to you, a colleague. Definitely looking like you're standing next to residents who are tired of having their concerns and complaints not being acknowledged or at least attended to. Hence, I'm assuming we are, of course, seeing this protest this morning. Good morning.
Well, certainly, Tumelo, and that's the reason why these residents have taken to the street, essentially blockading the entrances to this particular area. We are here in Roshnee, which is one of the affected area, and residents here have blockaded the streets with rocks and burning tires. I'm just going to ask my colleague Tamsang Kamane just to give you a glimpse of what we're seeing here on the R82. This is the main road that leads to Vereeniging if you're traveling from Johannesburg. And this morning we're seeing this street being blockaded and no vehicles really being allowed to pass here. In fact, there is also a certain point where police are stationed where they are preventing traffic from proceeding through this direction due to the protest that's taking place here. And it tells you of the frustration that residents here are really trying to vent out as far as the issue of power cuts are concerned. They are telling us that they go on hours a day without electricity. Even outside of the normal load shedding schedule, you'll find that the power is not restored in this particular area. But I think let's hear from the residents themselves as far as the issues are concerned. And joining me now is one of the residents here, Shanice Ferendale. Shanice, you are from Rustervaal, which is also another community that has also been affected. It's two communities that are here in this particular protest. Take us through some of your frustrations as far as this issue is concerned.
Good morning. Our huge problem, or the main problem, is every time after load shedding, our electricity trips. And we've always been given excuses of there's a cable issue or there's always an issue at the substation. But when we sent out complaints, they come out and within 15 minutes, the guys come and switch on the electricity. Last week when we striked, the same thing happened. They said there's an issue. They came out within 5 minutes, the electricity is on. And it's been happening now for about 3-4 weeks already, that every time after load shedding, we're sitting without electricity. Already, we have 12 hours of load shedding between Rustervaal and Roshnee. Last week, we were without water as well. So imagine water and electricity for the whole week of last week. We are sick and tired. We're doing this because we want the mayor to come out. It doesn't help having ward councillors. Our ward councillors go out saying they're going to take our concerns to the mayor, but they don't come back. They don't come back to the community. We want the mayor here, and we are not leaving until the mayor comes and addresses both communities of Roshnee and Rustervaal. And the Indians and the Coloureds are now standing together. The government wants to divide us, but we're standing together and we're standing up to say enough is enough.
So you're saying that this is deliberate according to what you believe as community members?
Yes, we say this is deliberate, because when we go up to the substation or we start striking, only then is the electricity put up. But it takes about 5 to 10 minutes to switch it on. So what is the actual problem? If it's a cable issue, it can't take 5 to 10 minutes to resolve. That is what we're saying. That is clear sabotage. And in times like these, they don't allow us to go in with the technicians into the substation. Why? Why are we not allowed to see what is going on there? When some of the people here are paying for rates and taxes, they're paying for that electricity, but we are not allowed inside the substation. We want to understand why. And why is it that the mayor refuses to come out and to listen to our concerns? We have a right. We have to vote for them to sit in parliament. We have to vote for them to sit in the local municipalities. But when we are in need, there's nobody that comes and addresses us. We are alone. It takes us coming to the streets and burning tires. This is a peaceful strike. We're not fighting with anybody. We haven't damaged anybody's cars and shooting at anybody. All we're saying is come and hear our cry. Enough is enough. Just like everybody else, we have sick people in our communities. We have babies that we need to feed. We can't do that if the lights are constantly off.
Okay, thank you for speaking to us, Shanice. We'll also, delve a bit later on to the issues, the service delivery issues here at this municipality. Of course, there are quite a number of issues that residents have been raising over the past few months. I want to speak to other residents, normal residents, on how they're affected really by this. Mama Wekaya, how are you affected?
I bring the kids at the school. We didn't manage to get inside the school. Other kids are there, others are not in. So it's a problem about this electricity.
So it's affecting schooling here as well?
Yes, it's affecting the school. The kids are outside here. We are outside here.
In your home, how do you cope with so many hours in the dark?
It's terrible. It's terrible because of the food are rotten. Everything is nonsense, yes.
Okay, and let me get to you, sir. Just to ventilate your issues here, I know that you represent the Roshnee community.
100%. But minorities are not being represented. As minorities are taking us for granted. We cannot have load shedding for 20 hours a day. If it trips, it can't be tripping every day. It's tripping all the time. We have sick people on oxygen here. What do we do with the sick people? What do we do? We can't keep on venting our frustrations on streets. Where's our government? Where's our representation? Minorities are not being represented. We've been taken for, as colours and Indians, because we're minorities, now we're taken down. They keep on cutting our lights. There's other places a minute drive from here, absolutely zero load shedding. No water problems, no electrical problems. 100%. We have Arken Park with no load shedding, Springwall with no load shedding, Falcon Ridge with no load shedding. Why only Roshnee? Why only the Indians? Why only the colours? Because we're minorities, so they must take advantage of us. That's what on.
Let's talk about the service delivery issues, because I know they are also quite a concern here in this community, especially in this municipality. We've covered extensively some of the issues as far as sewage spillages, the water issues here. How is service delivery in totality? Is there any service delivery here?
The Umfuleni hasn't paid the staff. The Umfuleni hasn't paid the people working for them. They're absolutely broke. There's 2 High Court orders from Rainwater Board and Eskom. So all the money coming into Umfuleni goes to Eskom and Rainwater Board. But we got absolutely zero service delivery. Where's our councillors? Where's the Indian representation? Where's the coloured representation? There's zero. So they can take advantage of us because we got nobody representing us. So we must come to the streets. That's not the way for us to do it. We want our government. We elected officials to go into government because Indians are not represented and colours are not represented, so we must have no electricity. 20 hours a day. Is it normal not to have 20 hours a day electricity? They can't keep on telling us it's tripping. It can't be tripping for a month going on. Are we going to go indefinitely now with no electricity? Because they say the Indians and the colours must, minorities, they got money, they must do as they please. That's not on for us. And no, it doesn't work. Genuinely doesn't work. And South Africa needs to know that Indians are South Africans, colours are South Africans. I love my country. I'm a South African.
Well, frustrations, as you can hear, Tumelo, here from the residents who have taken to the streets here, and they're saying that they want the mayor of Mfuleni to come and address them. They want the officials to take this matter seriously, because they say that this is an issue that's been long bubbling in this community. The frustrations that they are venting here today have been long bubbling, and they want them to be addressed. They want an assurance, commitments to be made by the Mfuleni municipality on how they're going to resolve these issues. Of course, it's not only an issue that's affecting this community. You'll speak to other communities also just across the country, across the province. They'll tell you that the issue of power cuts and some of the trips that are reported, and the lights not coming back on time when they're supposed to come back. Those are just some of the frustrations that many communities are facing in the country, as of course we experience higher levels of load shedding. Certainly this community is saying that they want action and they want to be addressed as far as what is going to be done on this issue by the municipality.
Well, it's quite a serious issue, I have to say, colleague. 20 hours on end without any power or electricity. Surely there's a schedule that needs to be adhered to, and it seems the residents of Roshnee are saying that they don't have that schedule. But also, interestingly, when you spoke to one of the residents saying that is it because they're a minority and they don't have representation, hence they are being taken advantage of? You can see these are where the sentiments are coming, that the coloured and Indian community feeling they are not, of course, being represented. But before I let you go, can we just see the blockade just one more time, Manqoba Mchunu? Earlier on, before we started the conversation, you showed us, is there also any law enforcement from where you stand while you're showing us, colleague?
Well, Tumelo, I can certainly tell you that we've not seen quite a lot of, law enforcement officials here on the ground. In fact, the only police that we've seen were the police that were stationed, just at the entrances of this particular area. They were just averting the traffic, and in terms of the presence here on the ground, we've just seen 1 or 2 vans that have been driving here, and it does appear that there's not much in terms of violence that's taking place here, except, of course, for the debris that you're seeing here on the streets, the blockages that are here on the streets, the traffic that's not been allowed. But we've seen 1 or 2 vehicles being allowed to pass. I guess, emergency vehicles and those that will require, to pass here on an emergency basis are then being allowed to do so here by the community. So it's not a violent protest as per se, except for the barricading of the roads that we're seeing here this morning. And I'm not sure whether that's the reason why we're not seeing quite a lot of police here on the ground. But certainly this community is saying that they're going to continue with their protest. They're going to ensure that they do get the answers as far as what is happening in this community is concerned. The tires are still burning here on the roads, and the community members are still gathered here, as my colleague Tamsanga Kamane is just trying to show you here. Just the anger of this community. It shows you the frustration of these communities. And as I said before, it's frustrations by many community members. We know when it comes to the issue of load shedding, the issue of power, but this community is saying that they have to endure more than that. 20 hours in the dark with no power at all as a result of these ongoing power outages.
All right, as soon as there are more other updates and developments, colleague will be sure to catch up with you again. Roshnee residents protesting this morning, blockading roads, ensuring that cars do not move. This, they say, over prolonged power cuts, saying they would see power cuts, of course, for longer hours than usual, 20 hours at most even times, and saying that it's time for the municipality to take the community seriously and offer them those services.